Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News.
And we are back this week with your Survivor News. We are back this week with your Survivor News. Welcome back to the Purple Pants Podcast, Survivor News Edition, Episode 4. And of course, I cannot break Survivor News down without the news reporting team. And we have live reporting from outside of the Philadelphia area. We've got Wendell, aka Dad, aka Wendell, winner of season 40, HGTV host. Okay. If you didn't know, now you know. Wendell, and we're not going to do this week.
Brice, you struggled through that info.
Can't be left out.
Damn, Jack. Brice, you struggled through my my intro right there. You struggled a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna need you.
You
to
got too many
practice
accolades, Wendell.
that. I mean.
It's hard to keep track.
Well, welcome back to Survivor News. And of course, reporting live from his fraternity room in the attic. He is not an X-Men, but he does have lightning on his shirt. The one, the only, our favorite baby boy, Jack Atkins, the super senior. You may know him. From The Circle season 2. You may know him from The Floor is Lava. You may know him from Survivor News, the baby boy. Go ahead, Jack.
What's up?
Hit your bell.
Did you see him go like this, Brice?
That's how chill people like when you introduce them. They're like, "Thank you guys, thank you." Happy to be here.
He's chill, but he was just doing this with a buff.
Yeah, he was just.
Why can't I hear you? What the hell?
Oh God, did Jack just go out? Now listen, Purple Pants
All right,
Posse, Wendell and I will give you some insight into the Survivor News every week this week, or every week this season.
Jack has had an issue with something.
With something. It could be the lights. It could be his camera. It could be his microphone. And if we don't know.
Well, that's funny. As soon as he starts moderating. Okay. Now all of a sudden we get this Jack moderator, and all of a sudden the internet doesn't want to work for him and his audio and his video. I'm just saying.
So, Wendell, while we are waiting for Jack to return, but are you saying that?
I'm not here to start anything. I'm just wondering. We talk about Survivor gods. I think the Survivor gods are looking down on this podcast and saying, I don't know.
Oh, well, listen.
I question.
Well, let's check the Survivor gods. If we count the 3 and Jack is back, then they speak. Survivor gods. 1, 2, 3.
Sorry.
He came in singing the theme music.
Yeah, I heard. Well, I don't know, because I did the audio test and it played the little music, so I was like, I can hear things. So I'm sorry, I don't. The Survivor God said I need to stop moderating. I guess, but
listen,
sorry about that.
This is a great Survivor episode. So I am excited to talk with the baby boys. But before we get into Survivor News, we gotta get to some announcements. And the baby boys are currently on tour. The next Wednesday, Brice and Wynn Present will be in Philadelphia for the homecoming. Okay. Then we will be in Boston November 8th. Don't miss out.
Or not. Whatever.
Or not, is it the 9th?
The party's the 9th, but we'll be there the 8th too.
But I mean, we'll be there the 8th as well. If you want to do brunch, let us know. We got the district coming up. It might be a 2-part district because we'll be in the district early in the month of November. But also we'll be in district for Brice and Wynn Presents December 7th, and bump, 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 bump. If you ever been to a HBU homecoming, they be like bump, 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 bump. The grand finale, okay? The baby boys are heading to LA, and you can guarantee on seeing this trio, Brice, Wynn, and Jack, in LA at the finale on December 14th. But listen, also, because you know I'm booked and busy, in the next couple of weeks, Wendell will be, yes, I love calling him Wendell. Kevin from Big Brother always calls Wendell, and like I just have adopted it. But also
Kevin who? Mr. Pronunciation Police?
Sugar Burger.
Sugar Burger. Oh, Kevin, huh?
Sure S.
Sure S. You've known him for years now. And his last name is Sure S.
It's S. Kevin S.
Slayhuber.
Slayhuber. Okay. Yes. Wendell also will be in Atlanta. They are doing Davy and Sharia, Davy annual Halloween party. And if you know David Reichenbacher.
Davy.
I'm not even gonna. You called him David. I'm done.
Rockenbacher. He's
they'll
gonna rock your socks off with his costume.
He comes with some costumes.
Listen, David. I mean, I don't know why I keep saying David. Davey, for the last 2 years, has been going as Philip Shepard, and I have encouraged him to continue the trend. He's like, I don't have any more Survivor Philip costumes, but I've been sending him some ideas, so I really hope that he continues to go to as Philip. But yeah, they'll be in Atlanta as well. Your baby boy will be OC out the country, but
where?
Davey, yeah, where are you going, Brice?
Just out the country for a little trip.
Okay. David Rackenbaker, he sent me a photo of what he wanted to be this year.
Why are you?
Oh.
I don't know if Davey has the legs. Okay. I don't know if Davey has legs of a runner. But
just saying, that's what he sent me.
Okay. But all right, well, listen. Dun 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 dun. We're back with the Survivor news. I'ma just sit on back and let's get into it.
And let's get right into it. It was a great episode. I will say, go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
I mean,
God Wars.
Yeah. Okay. So Vezi gets back from tribal council after voting out NECA. And
hold on, wait. Do y'all hear that?
Are you getting gassy over there?
Sad music.
Do y'all feel that? Sorry, I'm getting a little chilly. Hold on.
We're not there yet, Brice.
Oh, okay.
We're at the Red Tribe. Gabler is still looking for his palm fronds.
Sorry, because it got a little chilly. Just had to grab my blanket. Go ahead,
Okay.
Jack.
So we're at Vezi, the Red Tribe, which does not have Gabler. And it's a short little segment, but we get a confessional from Cody, and I have a quote here talking about voting out NECA. He says, "It feels like my girlfriend dumped me, the pizza guy never showed up, and my roommate drank all my beer."
Damn.
Oh.
So I can't tell if he really is upset or if he's just a little bit upset. What do you guys think about this Red Tribe coming after voting out NECA?
I think Cody was really upset. I think that Cody had an affinity for NECA, and they were really working together. And I don't think that he really wanted to get rid of NECA, but I think that he knows when to hold them, knows when to show them.
Agreed. Yeah. I think we're watching Cody become a player and make the hard decisions and keep it pushing. Yeah.
And we will see more of that throughout this episode. But then, Brice, the moment you've been waiting for, we head over to Baca, and it's a cold night, and we see Gabler just pull up on people while they're asleep and put palm fronds on them. And needless to say, people are confused. And he's like, "Oh, I'm just tucking you guys in. Is that okay?" And they're like, "No, it's not okay. You just woke me up." And beyond that, we see him and Ellie beefing over some of the like building the fire, and Gabe was just rubbing people the wrong way. What do you guys, think about? If you were sleeping on the island, would you want to be tucked in by Big Mike Gabler?
Brice
Listen,
would.
I'm at a point in my life where if a man want to wake me up with some palm fronds, wake me up when the morning comes. I think it's a little creepy. However, I think that because I feel like Gabler rubs people the wrong way, in a weird way, I really do feel like this was like Gabler's nurturing side. Like, Gabler wanted to, like, he just was like, oh, Wendell's forehead looks like it's a little cold. Let me go get it. Like, I really felt like it was like, we call Wendell dad. I really felt like it was a dad moment. And I felt like he might have been up stoking the fire. And he was like,
yeah,
let me warm them up with some large palm fronds.
Yeah, he had good intentions for sure.
But what do they say the road to hell is paved with?
Good intentions? I don't know.
Yes, that's not a thing.
I don't know.
It makes sense. I know what you mean though. The sentiment. Yeah, it's like,
right.
Yeah, it was a nice gesture. But if I'm finally asleep, I don't want to be woken up with a palm frond hitting me in the face. Like, what are you gonna do? Just cuddle the palm frond?
Yeah, it's a terrible idea. Like, people are sleeping. It's hard to sleep on Survivor. People are asleep. Don't put anything on them, especially foliage. Nah, don't do it. He said, was it at all helpful? No, it woke me up.
If y'all two were in that moment, would you have lied and be like, oh, thank you, Gabler, it was?
Yeah, I think I would have said like, I was okay. I would have been okay without it, but I appreciate the gesture, Gabler. But if you could never do that again,
I think also seeing him and Ellie with the fire, I think is really interesting, and I think that the editors do a really good job of not really talking about the Ellie and Gabler beef, but we get to see Sammy a little bit, and Sammy is basically saying like Gabler's Gabler. But I really do wonder if, from the episode that we seen last week, will the tide still be Ellie, or will they drop the palm frond weights and get rid of Gabler?
It's shaping up to be an epic battle for sure. Two of the best strategist Survivor's ever seen.
Ellie was looking good 2-3 episodes ago. I was talking to Brice. I was like, man, we're going to have a different winner pick every week. And I'm not mad at that. I like that.
Yeah.
They're just, it seems like they're kind of changing their editing style a little bit. And we definitely saw it the last 2 seasons. And this season is like, who's going to win? There's no winner edit or like, yeah. So that's what I got.
100%. And then we bounce over to the reward challenge, where one player has to knock off blocks from a podium and use those blocks to cross like the sand pit. And then the remaining members have to land those sandbags, one each on these hanging discs that are decreasing in size. And they're playing for 10 fresh fish, and they get to do a camp raid and steal an item from a camp of their choosing. And so we see Cody get the Red Tribe off to a hot start, and ultimately they're able to keep the lead and land all of the bags and win the reward. And they opt to, since they don't have Flint, they opt to trade the fish for a previous reward, which Jeff said it very matter of factly that you can do that
anytime.
Yeah, just like, as you know, I'm like, I did not know that, Jeff, but they choose to trade it for their, I think it's fruit and a toolkit from a previous reward, and then they obviously also win the camp raid. What did you guys think of this challenge, this reward challenge?
I just feel like we can't undermiss my twin Dwight, with the game winning bucket. bucket. He was struggling a little bit, but you know, baby boy came through. Money,
Wow.
fish. I thought it was interesting because I feel like if I were to play Survivor again, I don't know if I would negotiate. Like I would have been with Cody and been eating sushi. Like I don't know if that I would have had the wherewithal to be like, can we negotiate, Jeff?
Yeah.
Well, they depending on like they want you to do things like this. They want you to negotiate or try to, because one way or another it'll either make good fun TV or they just won't use it and he'll be like, yo, what are you talking about? Get out of here. So I think it was smart of them to negotiate. On Ghost Island, we negotiated for a lot more rice when we were like dead. And that ended up working for us. And I don't even think it was shown on TV, but yeah, you want to negotiate on Survivor when you can, when it's the right time, when not like, I think at this moment, everyone had left, right? It was just their tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at this moment, that's a better time to do it.
And I think it's important to note that it seemed like Noelle was the negotiator and the determinator of what they would get. Like Noelle was like, I'm not eating no sushi. Like, let's get like, you know, so it was just interesting to see Noelle step up in this like power position when we know that in previous episodes that she's been at the bottom. But now that it's 2-2, I feel like, you know, like she's really showing her dominance in this tribe.
And if we fast forward to the next challenge,
well, we'll get there when we get there.
Anyways, yeah, I thought it was interesting. I didn't know that you could just trade for any previous reward. I feel like that's a little weird, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, so and then I think the biggest thing that they win from this is the ability to go steal something from another tribe. And so we go back to Vezi and we see them enjoying some fruit and strategizing about what they want to pick. I think this is kind of a good distinction between their options because Baka has, I believe, won the bigger rewards, like, you know, bigger fishing kit, bigger toolkit, I believe. Whereas Coco has won the smaller rewards, but they have more members. And so I think Vezi takes an interesting approach where they're saying, do we get the best reward possible for ourselves or do we try to hurt the other tribe? And I want to discuss that more with you guys, but we see that Vezi initially Cody wants to steal a machete and really go for the jugular so that they can't light their flint, they can't chop coconuts. Whereas the rest of the tribe thinks, you know, let's go get the best fishing kit available. And before we get into Cody's trip to Coco, where do you guys fall in this debate? Do you think you should just go for the best reward for your group, or do you think you should try to hurt another tribe with your selection?
I mean, I feel like you should probably do what's best for the group as far as like getting the fishing gear or being able to get more food. I definitely would not necessarily go after someone's machete because that's like war. Now, if what happened in the immunity challenge happened in the reward challenge and I had the opportunity to raid that camp, I probably will go for the jugular. But at this point, I feel like this tribe has like lost the most. They don't have as much. It's all about getting the resources. So I'm all about the resources.
I think you do want to pick me up. You do want something that'll help you more so than just crippling the other team or debilitating the other team. But then you also have to think like, if I do whatever to help me, is that going to put me in a better position or give me a fighting chance to beat this other group? Whereas if I do something that will really hurt them, will that actually put me in a better position to affect that other group in the next challenge? But then I was also thinking about just the determination to go over to Coco as opposed to going over to Vezi. I'm sorry, to Baka. And when I think about it, yeah, they could want to hurt Coco and ultimately Coco ends up losing. But the other way to think of it is, all right, you guys are going to be down some numbers. So will Baka. And once the merge happens, okay, if they're still 6 strong, y'all join up. There will be cracks over there and take them out one by one. So,
Or another way to look at it is if, like, let's go to the bigger tribe that has the most numbers. And I would even think, like, let me go over there and ask for the least. So that way I'm showing y'all good faith. Y'all have the numbers. So why not like go over there just to like introduce myself and be like, hey, listen, y'all, we don't
infiltrate.
want to hurt y'all, but like we really like y'all style. I really like, we just give us James, can we have a lime? And like, just save face and
You're
like
going
make
over like
that
a diplomat.
connection.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's probably better to go for, like the best fishing gear possible because that helps sustain yourself. I just think going for the machete is like it doesn't benefit you at all. You're only hurting the other tribe. And so to do something that's so obviously like negative towards both tribes, I think it's just a bad look. Like when you get to them, if someone did that to my tribe and took our machete and was like, yeah, we don't want you guys to eat, I'd go to the merge and see them and be like, screw you. Like I don't want to work with you. Whereas if they make it like a decision that's sensible for them and they're like, we're starving, like we need fish, you can't really knock that. And then I do think it's interesting what you guys said about, potentially making inroads. And I think there's a point to be made with each of what you guys said. Like if you go to Baca and you weaken them by taking their fishing gear, if you guys are both down in numbers and Coco goes in the merge fully strong, you could team up on Coco. And that's a lot of times what happens in 3 tribe seasons. But I mean, Brice also makes a good point where maybe you want to make a good relationship with the most people in the game, like of any tribe available. And so I think there's a lot of strategic elements at play that make it a really interesting decision. And we see, I think Cody put those interesting strategic ideas at play when he goes and visits Coco. He comes in hot and says, he's like, man, I was sent for your machete. And he's like, but don't shoot the messenger, which I thought was because then, he's a master salesman. He basically says, it's not my idea, even though it was. And he's like, oh, well, if you guys can negotiate with me, because then Coco's like, okay, anything we could give except for the machete is a win. And so he gets more than one item. He gets food and fishing gear,
And a lime.
and a lime for some tequila, and leaves the Coco tribe for the most part feeling like they got actually a pretty good deal, even though they gave up more than they really had to, except for Carla, who's like, he definitely just played the hell out of us.
Least.
Yeah, what did you guys think of? I thought it was really brilliant by Cody, honestly. So
I think that in this scene, because mind you, Dwight was like, it's like we're sending our your child off to school that's like, not prepared. I was nervous and I was like, why are they sending Cody? But actually seeing Cody in this and him being able to maneuver the way that he did, I'm like, you sit Cody at a final 3, what will come out of his mouth? Like he could, and then I was telling Wendell this, it almost gave me Marianne vibes. The winner of last season, in the sense that how people like underestimated Marianne. They never really looked at her as a threat, and then like here she was with all of these things at the end, and was the biggest threat, and could speak so eloquently and won. And here it is, Cody, where we know Dwight doesn't like Cody. Dwight and what's his name? Jesse, and Jesse's like, yeah, Cody's just Cody. But here it is. Cody has the idol. Cody, we know now, can speak. It's not that it is an act that Cody is just out here living, but like we know that when it's time to start playing, Cody can play, and ultimately like had a huge win for his tribe. And that honestly gave me like the, how you doing, Cody? Like, like I just like, okay, Cody.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, he showed that he's a really good negotiator, and this whole living thing and the way he presents, there's a little more behind it, and I like that, and that makes for a dangerous player, if you ask me.
Yeah, no doubt. I like Cody's been so entertaining so far this season, and to see that beyond his like goofy personality, he's got some gameplay chops is really exciting to see. And with an idol, he's in a good spot. Hopefully we can see him at merge, keep doing his thing and live in. Yeah. And then yeah, I wish we got to see him go back to camp and see his tribe's reaction, but unfortunately we head straight over to the immunity challenge. And this one's a big one. And honestly, let me give the breakdown first and then we can discuss it. But in this one, you have to climb over several wooden obstacles and knocking down sandbags in which a key is hidden in one of them. And then you gotta use the keys to unlock puzzle pieces and a cargo net. Bring the big puzzle pieces under the cargo net. I think there's 4 pieces. First, you have to solve a square puzzle, and then you have to climb up, move the pieces up a platform, and then solve a triangle puzzle with the same 4 pieces. And we see, I mean, before we even get into what exactly happens, what did you guys think of this challenge?
Well, I happened to be watching it with Wendell out and about, and when the challenge started, I was sitting at a bar. I had a little cocktail. I had some mussels.
Oh, get to the point.
I see Wendell get up out his seat in the middle of the challenge.
Did I walk over to you?
Grab my shoulder. I'm like, what is he doing? This is a really good challenge, Perp.
First of all,
I said, sir, I could see you. You could have said that to me. But am I lying?
My friend didn't save me a seat at the bar.
No, that's a lie.
Two of my friends didn't save me seats at the bar.
Wendell, I would have saved you a seat.
I know you would have, Jack.
And I think it was a great challenge too.
Right. You know, it excited me a little bit. Okay.
That's a lie. But yeah, like no, I is this a first? This is like a first.
Yeah, like the first like double puzzle. And I was
Brice is puzzled.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool puzzle, how it goes from one shape to another. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, this might be one of my favorite like puzzles I've ever seen on Survivor, honestly. I like you guys said, so unique how it can be. It's a 4. I love like the 4-piece puzzle because in theory it's so simple, but in actually putting it together, it takes a lot of creative thinking, not necessarily just like a big jigsaw puzzle where you just gotta slowly work through it. It's like once you see it, you see it. You could do it in 5 seconds, so it could take you 3 hours. Like I thought that was super fascinating, and then the fact that there was 2 stages to it, you know, the puzzle nerd in me was very stoked. But we see that quickly. So going under the cargo net, I thought it was interesting that Ryan chose the strategy of holding up the cargo net for the rest of his teammates. And then once James got to the end, he went. And then I think James was holding it up for Ryan.
I mean, so listen. I rewatched the episode. And I when Ryan was doing it, like, you know, I saw when Ryan did it. And, you know, Jeff was very critical. Like, Ryan's helping out, but he doesn't have a puzzle piece. And, you know, I then was like, okay, James is doing it. But I rewatched the episode. And, you know, here on the Purple Pants Podcast Survivor News, I...
Go ahead and say some hateful stuff. Go ahead. Hate on somebody. What you got? Who you talking trash on now?
Oh, you know, listen, we're always going to be very crucial of James Jones, JJ out here. But if the purpose of standing in the net is to help the people get the pieces out, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is James doing? It's James, no more puzzle pieces.
Over here, James.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, fair point. I was gonna say I thought the holding the net thing was pretty smart, actually. But obviously at this point everyone's out, and James was like,
James forgot. James
he's making sure his pants are still up. He's looking down. He's like, did I forget my belt? But, that's so funny. Every challenge is some screen grab of James just doing some ridiculous shit.
James just was holding the net.
And
y'all through?
Is y'all done or is y'all finished?
I got the net.
I can't see y'all. Somebody let me know when y'all got the puzzle together.
Dang, James.
But then, yeah, they get to the first stage of the puzzle, the square one, and Vezi gets it pretty fast, kicks it down. So no one else can see their progress. They advance up top. Baca gets it not too soon after, and also they get up top. Coco's taking a while on the first leg of the puzzle. And
so let me ask you this. We know that with Coco, James is always, when it comes to these puzzles and challenges in which that James is on the sideline. I don't know if we should have, like, if he's helping or if he is not helping. But you know, one thing about James during a challenge, he
gonna
he
instruct.
just Ryan is like, huh?
He's
Carla
always
is
looking at the
like-
other
Yeah.
other tribes.
James is like, put it down, put it down.
Dang. Shout out to James, friend of the show.
Shout out to James, friend of the show. Also, my twin, I was like, you know, they got the puzzle. My twin, the white, immediately kicked it down.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But-
So we get to the last stage of the puzzle.
Okay.
Let's finish the challenge before we
Okay,
kick
you
anything else down.
better moderate me.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Probst got on Dwight a little bit too.
Listen,
But-
and not too much.
Big
What's up?
time.
Who did?
Probst.
Probst.
Dwight moving about as slow as you can
You
while
could possibly
actually still
move.
moving.
And this is how I know Dwight was my twin, because he was like, thank you, Jeffrey. Now y'all know I be calling Jeffrey out here.
Jeffrey.
Okay, sorry, moderator.
Sorry, Jeff.
No, it's good. It's funny. But yeah, so we see the Baka and Vezi tribes get to the top pretty quickly. And actually it was at this moment. So ultimately we see Vezi finish first. We see Dwight kick down the puzzle mid-celebration. And then we see Noel help out Baka. And so Baka ends up getting second. And what I was actually thinking about before we even saw Noel help out was when red and yellow are at the top, do you think it's ever reasonable? Say I'm Brice, say you're Dwight. Do you think it's ever reasonable to say, hey, Baka, whichever one of us, Coco's still down there. Whoever gets it first, let's just share our answer. We both make sure that we win. Do you think that's
I would agree with that. However, like we have to do that when Coco is down below low.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Let me finish. However,
We got it.
you should not do that while Coco is right there.
Yeah.
He said, oh.
Okay, Kay. And
Chill.
You was saying.
Brice, I think you have a little echo going on. Yeah, no, so I was that's what I was I don't know if it makes complete sense for Noel to help out so verbally. Sorry. I sort of get where she was coming from, but it's like you don't really have a reason to. But that's why I was thinking before she even did that, when you're up top and Coco's below, just be like, hey, yo, like, let's just make sure we both win. There's like, it's sort of cheap, but
it makes sense.
Make sure you both. Yeah.
Coco is the only tribe that has not gone to tribal, so like that 1,000% makes sense. But also, when I did my rewatch, Noel was not the only person helping out. Dwight was an active member of like helping the yellow tribe win as well.
Yeah.
Jack, you're that is kind of like a cool thing to think about. Like if the two of your tribes are up there, then you say share something. But for them to think of that in the moment, possibly run it by their tribe, like in the heat of battle at that point, it might be.
Yeah. Because you probably don't want to do that without some tribe approval.
Yeah.
In a sense. And so.
And also you're trying to win right now. So.
Right. And y'all haven't won in a long time. And again, I'm going to say this. I feel like for Noel, like that's my girl. Like I'm rooting for Noel, but I also feel like for her to do this, it just puts a huge target on your back when, in my opinion, you already have a target on your back in the sense of like how many people are going to want to sit next to you in the end, just like with like the single mother or the person that's putting there, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's drawing a lot of attention. However, I feel like I like the bold move though. Like, I feel like it's like, I mean, I disagree with it, but at the same time, because I feel like it's going to bring you a lot of smoke from Coco, like no doubtably. But
James,
I also feel like if it gets you two loyal people, Like, I don't know. Like, I want to talk this through with you guys. Like, do you feel like
Yeah, it has pros and cons. Like, it makes you look good in the eyes of Baca, and then it makes you probably look worse in the eyes of Coco.
So do the pros outweigh the cons?
I mean, I don't know, because again, in my opinion, if you get two people that's loyal from Vodka, that wait, is Vodka, right? Vodka.
It's vodka now.
Okay.
Tito's.
Vodka.
The vodka tribe.
But in this game of Survivor, those 2 votes could be the 2 votes that, like, honestly could possibly carry you to the end. So, and again, I try to think of Survivor very differently each season that we watch, each season that, like, I dissect things. And so again, the initial Brice is like, girl, what is you doing? But also the strategic thinking of Jack Atkins and Wendell Holland, I'm like, sometimes people win. Oh, not the glasses, but sometimes people win Survivor by a vote.
I'll play devil's. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I get where you're coming from, but I don't know if a move like this is gonna secure you votes per se. Like,
but you never know.
And it's a polarizing move.
But if you sitting at the final 3 and you running down your resume, Wendell and Jack, when y'all was at that challenge, I helped y'all.
That, for me, as if I was a juror, I don't think that would matter to me at all.
Brice didn't make the jury. Yeah, Brice, I think it's a polarizing move, and I think the cons outweigh the pros in that you're automatically making these 6 people dislike you. You're on Front Street with that. You're now a like, it's you. You're the most vocal one doing it.
I mean, and I'm not saying I agree with her move. I'm just saying that, like,
you see the potential logic.
I see the potential. It's not a move that I would make because I wouldn't even be in this episode. But I'm just saying.
Say it again.
You know, I wouldn't be in this episode. But what I can tell you is that I do have 200 episodes. Okay. Oh! Sometimes the ladder is worth the great. Like, you know, sometimes I'll trade you 3 for 200. But listen, I'm just saying, like, I like Noelle, and I feel like up until this point, she's been a fighter. So I am, in my mind, instead of being spicy Bricey, because we know on this episode, we met a spicy Cassidy, and I really love Cassidy. I know I'm all over the place with this right now, but listen, Jeff said, what you think about this? Cassidy said, if the losers want to link up in a loser link up, let them. I said, oh, Cassidy, spicy Cassidy. But I'm just thinking, like, how could this potentially benefit her? Instead of, like, picking it apart, I'm playing devil's advocate on the common opinion and seeing how this could maybe get her another episode, get her another day.
Yeah, I think.
Shout out to Noelle, friend of the show.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to make or break her game. I think it could have a net positive or net negative depending on how she plays it off. Like, if she gets to the merge, I think she has to say to Coco, like, hey, was not personal. You guys had the most numbers. I was trying to even the playing field. If you guys were in the opposite position, I would have done the same for you. And then maybe you go to Bach and be like, hey, like, I really wanted to keep y'all safe because I wanted to work with all you guys, like you, and you. And then maybe it's like, okay, like, you can recover a little bit from that. But at the end of the day, I don't know if you want to put yourself out there so openly.
No,
but
right.
I know exactly what you
but
mean.
It's a bold move regardless.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how the Pawn Fran
fall.
if it warms her up or not. But I mean, it's a bold move.
Yeah. Maybe Gabriel will repay her with a Pawn Fran blanket. And then I want to shout out real quick. After they won, Sammy hit the gritty on Survivor, which
he did.
I thought was unreal.
Yeah.
As a gritty enthusiast myself.
What's the gritty?
It's like the dance
Jack.
move. Nah.
Yeah, Jack, can we see Jack at Survivor News? Jack, the people
it.
in the comments want to see it. What's the gritty?
Let's see.
I don't know if my gritty's very good.
You got lightning on the shirt, Jack. You can dance. Stop playing.
With
Let's
the
see it,
headphones on,
Jackery.
you won't see the footwork though.
You
That's
could
the
take
problem.
the headphones off, Jack.
Oh man, I knew this would happen.
Ah,
Here's I'll do it if you guys also do it. And we have a face off.
Okay, but listen, Jack, I'll land the planes. You can take the headphones off.
all right. Okay. And I have a bad knee, so.
Oh my god. So, Brice, are you gonna do it or not?
I'll do it.
Okay. Headphones coming off.
Okay.
Take them off.
This might be the most vulnerable I've ever been on the Survivor News.
Breaker, can we land the plane? Breaker. Jack Atkins, are you responding? Oh.
And this is gonna be very good. So
okay, Jack, just go.
It's like, hold on. It's like,
Smooth, Jack.
Okay.
You did that, Jack. You did that. Brice, your turn.
First of all, y'all know Jack is coming to the barbecue. Okay. Wait, I got on shorts, but I don't know what Jack did though. But
Brice is, oh no, put the legs away.
Let me see if I could do it.
God,
I don't know
Brice
what
is
Jack did
awkward.
though, but
It's
all I
like-
saw was that.
you like
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Oh,
no.
oh,
the Britty.
Oh no.
The Brizzy.
Throw the whole pot away.
But I never thought we were gonna see a gritty on Survivor, and was very
Wendell,
excited
it
about it.
actually wasn't that bad on our knee. Go ahead, because you're not gonna have Jack out here like that.
I don't
But
know how to do
also,
it.
but is there an issue with the space behind you?
No, I got all the space in the world.
Oh, okay.
I gotta see it.
I've never tried the gritty before.
Oh, okay.
All right, let me see how you do it.
No, moderator,
He
like,
can Google
yeah,
it.
no,
Can I Google it?
Quick Google.
No.
Quick Google.
no, Jack, you
We
can go
want the best gritties possible, Brice.
ooh. First of all,
I hurt something. I hurt my knee.
what is going on?
How you do it?
Jack,
It's
show him
like-
again.
You go like Jesus. Well, it's part of it's the feet. So you go like you alternate the feet, and then you're like bouncing forward, and then you're like swing your arm. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, well,
We'll
let
get
us-
some live gritties next week.
Yeah. Oh,
Hey, Oh, he knows how to do it.
oh.
Hey, careful on the knees.
And right, that's the person that say you got a bad knee. I'm sleep. The people want to know what that room smell like now, though. The people want to know in the comments what the room smell like now.
Smells wonderful.
Anyway, let us know in the comments who had the best gritty. Yeah.
Sammy had a good one though, so I had to give some props to that.
And
But
also, can we talk about Sammy real quick though? Because y'all know I'm been very critical on Sammy, and because I'm just like, if you're 19, if you're 22, if you're 45, what's the difference? But what I will
Watch him
say,
change his tune. Go ahead.
you know, that
I'm sorry, moderator Jack. Was it not the start of this episode that Wendell was like, I mean, every episode, I've got a different winner pick now. Did he not say that?
Damn, Jack's frozen.
he did.
Okay. Ooh, Jack came back though. He came to Survivor.
He did.
Ah!
The water was all. Yo.
Oh my God. If
So
you
the
are
water
watching on
interfere
the-
with my my Wi-Fi.
No, Jack, that was some spooky shit.
He was stuck up here for a minute, and then
No,
he came
Wendell,
back
do
with
it.
water.
Wendell, do it.
And then I started
Reenact it.
levitating in the air.
No, yes. Wait, Jack. Wendell.
Sorry.
Reenact it.
It was
Reenact
like this.
it. Jack, did he not say that in the beginning?
Thank God I got my buff.
Oh, but I just
Oh
can't
man, I
believe-
spilled more than I expected.
Oh, where'd y'all
Wendell,
get
I was
him
going to
from?
pretend like I didn't see it. until
Well, that
you-
was part of the bit, Brice.
Nah, Jack was stuck like.
No, because when it came back too, I was looking like.
What is he hitting the gritty in that? No.
James might be.
Oh,
James got in shape.
anyways,
James,
Uh,
right? James got.
Okay.
James done cut up out there.
James trying to give day 9 Zaddy. I don't know.
Okay.
I forgot what I was saying prior to this. But
I
go
want
on.
to. You were talking. I want to.
Oh, you know, I was just saying, Sammy, you not been hypercritical of him. And for me, it's more like can you deliver? And I feel like in this challenge, Samuel was delivering. That's all I'm saying. I felt like, I really do feel like at day 9, people's bodies start bodying. Okay.
Yada yada yada.
Okay, listen. I mean, last season, Jonathan's body was body all season, but like again, we're seeing James got a body now, but also we see Sammy has a body. But I mean, I just thought that during this challenge, he really kind of really delivered. And also for me, when I rewatched it, I felt like the editors, when they were crawling under the net, they made a point to kind of show us Gabler getting up from the net. And it was giving like, Papa. I mean, I'm just saying, like he was the last one out of the net. He was just like moaning and groaning.
I thought they were foreshadowing like a medical. Yeah.
They've been foreshadowing something with this Gabler thing for weeks now, and it's either like, is he gonna have an epic like downfall as far as people like voting him out, or
is he gonna rise to the equation?
That's not adding up.
Or is he gonna rise to the equation, or are they gonna vote him out? Is he gonna be evacuated because he can't go on?
And
or is he gonna mess around and win?
I mean, well, right. I mean, I don't
know
if the equation equals that, but is it the amount of tribals that they go to are as good as his idol is?
He has it for one more.
Okay, so it's just the amount of people that go home.
No, like his own tribals.
Okay.
So the next tribal he goes to himself is the last one he can use it at.
Okay.
What if it gets past the merge?
I think it would be good. I'm not sure though.
I guess
he can negotiate it with Jeff.
Yeah, I think it should be good for his first one, period. Because then it's like, all right, now you
period,
as this
period period
Gabler yeah, I just think it should be good after the merge if they don't go, because they have a smaller tribe already, and it's like, all right, throw a little idol in there, they can shake things up.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have when your second tribal is post merge, though. You know what I mean?
I mean,
sometimes. Shut up, Brice. Sometimes
what's that equation?
Sometimes
edge of extinction post merge equals Wendy.
What was the merge like, Brice?
I don't know. I don't know that equation. Jack, what was Survivor like?
It was good, man. See, back in my day, seasons. I don't even know.
Brice, what was the jury like?
Wendell, what was the win bet challenge like?
Oh,
Brice,
what was Netflix like? Oh wait, Brice was on it though too. Actually.
Oh,
yeah, Wendell. What was $1 million like, Wendell? Who cares?
What was the challenge USA like, Wendell?
None of us.
Brice from MTV The Challenge. What was that?
Okay, no, we're not even going to tell that story. No,
we're not going to tell that story. We're not going to tell that story. We're not going to tell that story.
I don't even know the story.
Tell the story.
What's the story?
Okay. So I have a tendency.
Oh boy.
He goes to concerts.
I like my live musical concerts, and so far I've tried this method twice, and it's worked. I went to go see Saucy Santana. I went to go see this artist named Leia, and like I'm just obsessed with Saucy Santana. I'm obsessed with Leia, and
he's obsessed with getting photos with people.
I'm obsessed with getting photos with people, but I'm not paying no VIP packages. So I wait to the end of the concert. And, you know, if you ever been to a smaller concert, I really love smaller concerts, you can kind of see who's running the merch table. You can kind of see who's people are associated to them. So directly after Saucy Santana and directly after Leia's concert, I was with my friend Sarah. We went right up to the table and I was like, hi, do you guys watch MTV The Challenge? And they were like, yes. And I was like, I'm Brice from MTV The Challenge. And like, I love to support. And it works.
Both times.
I feel like you could have said Survivor though.
I mean, I know, but like,
it's a more popular show.
When I said that to Wendell, that's exactly what Wendell said. But listen, I be wetting my whistle, and again, my friend Sarah that's with me is just like, why?
Sometimes it's fun to twist the truth a little bit, though.
I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like I'm fessy, and I just like, you know, I'm fessel, and I don't know. But and again, it's like very spur of the moment, but
you get your way back there. Pause.
Oh. Okay. So
all right.
Also, let me just tell you another story. So after we meet Spicy Cassidy, you know, it's a commercial. I'm sitting across, I could see Wendy, and I'm like, Ryan and Gio are at the bottom. And I'm like, if they go for Gio, baby boy, I'm not going to be happy. Listen, you know me. Listen, I have an affinity to my POC of LGBTQ+, and I'm like, they better not go for Gio. When it was like, well, there's only two people. It's only Ryan or Gio. And so I'm like, okay, well, listen, if it has to be Ryan or Gio, I'm putting my money on Ryan. When it's like, well, I'm putting my money on Gio. Wendell and I make a Jack, you're a better. What is a gentleman's bet?
What was at stake? Like, did you have something at stake?
So, but again, well, I was told that a gentleman's bet is like a flat out, like, what's a gentleman's bet?
Is that just there's nothing at stake? It's just
correct, Jack. That is correct. Now,
so I don't have to get naked and show my body.
What? No, please.
No, what?
Jeez, that was
you bet with the wrong gentleman.
No, my goodness.
What?
You're a freak, boy.
You run into the wrong circle.
First of all, Brice was saying it's gonna be Ryan. I was saying I don't want it to be Gio, but I think it's gonna be Gio. This is pre all the scrambling because we're like, all right, the women have the alliance. James is sitting nice with everyone, so I'm like, all right. It's gonna be Gio. Brice is like, it's Ryan, 100%. Bet me $5,000. I'm like, whoa, how about we make a gentleman's bet, you know? Come to find out.
I like gentlemen. What's the bet? Any gentlemen out there want to make a bet?
Okay. Where were we, Jack?
I don't know. Usually
scramble mode.
Yeah. So we go back.
Like your eggs scramble.
We go back to the Coco tribe. They got tribal council, and off the rip, it's the girls and James want Gio, and Gio and Ryan want Cassidy, and Carla and James, I guess, are in the middle, but it seems like they want Gio to go because they're pretty close with Cassidy. But shortly after this, we see. Yeah, we see a major, one of the most memorable, I feel like, paranoid collapses.
That's our Philly sister.
No, I like Lindsay. I feel like she'd probably admit herself, one of the more paranoid, shooting herself in the foot to get voted out Survivor moments in recent memory. And first off, we see Lindsay sort of explain why she thinks she should be the target. And, you know, Mercury's in retrograde, so she must have manifested it because all of a sudden, she's freaking out. And I get the paranoia, but I feel like if you're paranoid, you either got to do some observing and figure out if you're right or not. And if you think you're right, go make a different plan. I don't think the play when you're paranoid is to go to your allies and be like, hey, I'm really paranoid. You guys are with me, like, and then not do anything and just be like, are you with me? And then they're gonna be like, yeah. Like if they were, they're gonna be like, yeah. Like they're always just gonna tell you, yeah. It's not gonna solve anything. Like whether they're with you or against you.
And I think one of my more issues with her was like, okay, well, and again, I love my Lindsay, so let me just preface that with what was your plan B, sis? Like, you know, like you didn't even come with a plan B. Now, this is what I will say. I was telling Wendell across the bar as
because he didn't save me a seat.
After I saved you a seat, but you came in with your other friend, and your other friend gave your other seat up. So let's just tell the truth. And then
we didn't arrive together.
So I arrived. I saved you a seat.
And your other friend took it.
No, I saved you a seat to my left. I went to the bathroom. I came back. There was another young lady across. I didn't know that was her thing. But anyway, Cassidy. I mean, no, Lindsay.
Be careful.
She reminded me of a Sarah Lucina, right before the merge, or no, the first merge boot.
Yeah.
At the merge. Reminded me of a Sarah Lucina. I really feel like
Cagayan?
And Cagayan, yes. Let this be a cautionary tale to all of the people that are listening to Survivor News that are ready to play the game of Survivor. Because this is what I will say. Lindsay was damn near my winner pick. Like from very early on, we see that Lindsay knows the game. Lindsay is making alliances. Lindsay is letting James know if it's your birthday or not, you look for an idol, you know what the consequence is. Like, you know, she's strong, she's competitive, but I feel like, and again, I don't know if it's in this new era of game with 26 days left that like people want to play. And it's like, sis, when there is no target on your back, you legitimately put a target on your back. And my thing is, what frustrated me the most with Lindsay was that when she had the, first of all, okay,
look at them arms on James.
Look at James. Like, again, I feel like when James came to her and like calmed her down, and the fact that when she still went on, I was just like,
yeah.
But this is what I will say is that it showed me that James and Carla, we need to keep an eye out for them, because for them to be able to like maneuver from what we would know as their closest ally to then like, because we've seen people like a Abby Maria that like Tasha and what's the boy name? Jason on Cambodia. Who was Tasha working with? His name started with Savage.
Savage.
We seen Tasha and Savage, baby Abby. Like, you know, but for them to realize that this is the first time we're going to tribal, and sis, you cutting up like this, let me just let you go.
Yeah. And I think it's all, obviously when you're in the shoes of Lindsay, it's hard to know exactly what's happening. But I think there's a few things to take out of this. One, I think when a player like James, who seems like a pretty straightforward dude, pulls you aside and says, and like gives you this whole spiel about like, trust me, you're good. Like it felt so above and beyond that I feel like I would have to be like, you know what, James, you're right. Like if you're gonna get me, you're like, yeah, like I don't know. I feel like when someone really pulls you out of the way and gives you like a heart to heart, like I got you, you need to chill out before it actually. Like, I feel like that's a trustworthy from a guy like James.
Devil's advocate, though, if you are at your most paranoid and somebody says, you know, for me, this is like Lindsay is Enzo and James is Desi. And Linzo is in that pool, that water, like, I gotta go, get me out. And Desi is like coming over and being like, stay, like, please stay. And they're like, get away from me. Like, I feel like that is what Lindsay was doing in that moment. And honestly,
Mhm.
I feel like, I hate to say it, but they made the right decision. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like at that point in time when the paranoia kicks in like that, it's really nothing you can do. But again, what I want to say is that, like, I really feel like that is the consequence of being a lover of the game. That is a consequence with, like, Lindsay came
Overthinking.
ready,
Yeah.
like, you know, and like, and I can't fault that, because child, I wish I would have been a half as ready as Lindsay was, but like, she just became so ready that, like, the fact that, like, wait a minute, it's the first vote. Nobody say my name. I'm the most qualified. I'm the Cocoa Beach Royal Rumble. Say my name, Lindsay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she like.
I'm interested to see, to hear a deep dive of hers or hear her exit press, because I want to know exactly what was going on that island. I want to know what made her get to that point. I feel like there's got to be more to it. Lindsay, we were watching Lindsay play this game.
And again,
or you've been winning a lot, and it's easy to look.
And this is what we said last week, is that, like, this is one of the growing pains of going to tribal. This is why a Dwight, a Jacob, a Noel, a Kermergen, Owen, like, they know what it's like to go through this, and this was literally their first time going through it. But also, I wonder if maybe the person that Lindsay wanted out, this is what I just was like playing in my head, was, what if it was Ryan? So go with me. Like, say if Lindsay wanted Ryan, we didn't really see any of this, but clearly the two names that we are hearing are Cassidy and Gio. And so if she wants Ryan out and they're saying Cassidy or Gio, I could see how the paranoia could set in, that, like, the person that I want, y'all not saying, but y'all saying these two names. So I don't know. But
I have a couple thoughts. First, to your point that you just said, I actually think that's like, when something like that happens, it's actually probably makes me feel safer in a weird way, where if I want someone else and everyone else is like, no, it's got to be this person, I feel like that's actually having like a strategic discussion with your allies. Whereas if I say I want this person out and they're like, okay, yeah, let's vote for them, I'd be like, oh, why are you agreeing with me like so quickly? Like, I feel like the sign of a good ally in Survivor is someone you could really have like a lot of strategic discourse with, and like disagree on things with them, but not be like, oh, they disagree with me, like I gotta go for them. Like, you can talk through options. And then I want to say, like, the two lessons I feel like that sort of come out of this, as an amateur Survivor enthusiast, I think one, like I said earlier, if you're paranoid, you either got to like get to the bottom of your paranoia and investigate what you're worried about, or B, you need to make a pivot. Like, you need to make a plan and pivot. Going to people and be like, yeah, I'm paranoid, but like, let's stick with the plan. Like, it doesn't really accomplish anything, because you have to show trust in your allies. The second thing I would say is, I think a lot of her paranoia stemmed from the fact that Gio and Ryan weren't really coming to her, is what I would say. And obviously she was in the numbers, but I think that just sort of gives sort of the lesson of like, even the people that aren't in your alliance, like, keep an open sort of lane of communication with them. Because for me, when I've done like South Africa and like other Survivor events, the thing I always feel best about going into a tribal is like, I know where my group is voting, but I also know where the minority is voting too. And so you know sort of where everyone's head is at. When you only know where you're voting and you don't know where the opposite side is voting, that's a recipe for like, okay, someone in your group might flip because they're the ones with the options. Because somebody in the game is going to know where everyone's votes are at, and you want to be that person, or else you open yourself up to a blind side. But as former Survivor players, do you agree with those sort of notes, or what do you take out of this? What do you take out of this?
Especially the checking in with multiple people, not being scared to talk game to people. Because or else you walk into your first tribal council 4 episodes in, not having spoken game to 2 people.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good lesson, Jackery.
I agree. I don't know what walking into a tribal for 4 episodes in is like, but you know, I do know what it's like when people don't talk game to you. And those were the people that voted me out. So yeah.
I see why it's tough though. When you go for like they're probably 10 days in, and you have this your first tribal, it's like your plans may have been set in stone 5 days ago on who's the first to go. And so when you lose that challenge and everyone's just like, yeah, that's the plan. Like no one's even being deceitful, but you're like, now we have 7 hours to just sit around. Like I see how the paranoia, whereas if you're going, you know, it's your first tribal and it's the first tribal of the season, people might not have talked as much game. So now people are actually running around checking in with everybody and coming to a consensus. Whereas if the consensus has already been reached and no one's really talking to each other, you're going to be like a little sketched out.
And again, it's like, and again, if this was like first episode behavior, we could kind of excuse it. But like, you know, Lindsay doesn't know what walks feel like when you're not included on a walk. Because like, you know what I mean? Like, again, this is all, people think it's so easy. People think that like, oh, I would get out and kill Survivor. And not, like, you know, you could have everything. You can have the strategic game. You could be physical. You could make friends. But like, sometimes it be yourself. Sometimes it's like, it's hard to explain what it's like sitting on an island and you just lost a challenge and you just sitting on some bamboo trying to catch your breath and 3 people walk off. Like, you know, like, and even if it's 3 people that you cool with, like your mind will go off. And I feel like somebody like Lindsay, who was overly prepared, I feel like she reminded me of you a little bit, Jack, who you always think about every different situation. And I feel like she thought of every situation, and like when she got to herself, she was like, wait a minute, me?
Yeah. I think another thing too is like, I think this is a good example also of like why it's so important to really lock in with like a duo in the game, because your thoughts might be going crazy, but if you have a second pair of eyes out there and who you know does not want you out, and they could come to you and be like, we're like, as far as I know, we're good. And you could trust that almost 100%. That's really valuable to have another set of eyes that you can trust almost exclusively for however long.
And let's just give an example. I feel like Gio, instance, he going hard on Cassidy. And I feel like, and again, we see how everybody votes. Gio was the only person that voted Cassidy, and we see Ryan voted for Lindsay. So clearly they, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like having that duo could really benefit you. And again, to my future Survivor players, because we know y'all in here, if you are just with 2 and you are again against the minority, don't stop playing, because like
something can happen. And again, a lesson that I will learn, that I have learned through listening and watching and actually playing, is that like, take your emotion out of it. And again, it's all about self-preservation. It's a numbers game. And at times, to save yourself, you might have to vote out an alliance. In my instance, I should have voted out Morgan. However, in this instance with Carla and Jay, we see they took out Lindsay. And again, you said who?
Jay?
Carla and Jay. James, Jay, JJ.
James, Jay, whatever, you know. Yeah. James and Carla, they took out Lindsay. And again, it's like, they don't want to be final 7 and they trying to pull a blind side, and you know, Lindsay all of a sudden, like, you know what I mean? Like, I respect that move. And again, in my opinion, that was a winner's move. And listen, again, my winner pick for this week is Carla. We see her last week with getting the beads, the idols, but then this week, her not being the leader of the group, and her not like, but just the way that things came her way, the way that she was able to handle it, the way that she talked to James, the way that like she even said to Lindsay, like, I don't know, it might be too early to call it, but yeah, my 3 winners at this point is Sammy, 22-year-old Sammy, Carla and James and Cody.
That's 4.
And Janine.
And anyone attached to the triangle.
And anybody attached to the triangle. So
wait, I do want to the last, yeah, I do. I mean, obviously, you just started sharing your thoughts on this. I want to like, because I'm sort of in a different mindset here, and I want to like, I definitely understand when someone gets paranoid. That's good reason to vote them out. But I do feel like Gio was doing enough that I feel like if I was like a Carla, I'd rather just get Gio out, and maybe Lindsay continues to be paranoid. But I feel like that first vote, just proving to her, could help out. And that's someone who's, if she votes with you here, as you intend her to do, now it's sort of a spot where she might have that sort of paranoia in her brain, but you know that her default move is to stay with you and just like, and to be paranoid. Like she didn't try to switch anything up. And not to say I would want that in the long run, but I'd rather have someone who's a little skittish, that I've now proven some trust to them, and that doesn't see, and also blatantly sort of tells Ryan at Tribal that like she didn't really want to talk to him. It wasn't that blunt, but like you see that they don't have any connection. Would rather keep her than I feel like than to keep Gio, who is sort of actively more against me and who's a little bit, from what it seems like, a little bit cocky and like thinks he's running the show. I don't know. I think there's a case for both. Like Brice, it seems like you think getting Lindsay out was the move.
I would rather keep a Geo that everyone agrees on, because now I know that's always a vote that I can default to. And I feel like with a Lindsay, like it worked out this time, but say we trying to blindside Wendell and her paranoia tips off Wendell and he play his idol and then Jack plays his shot in the dark and then my ass end up going home.
I would have still voted out. I would have voted out I think I would have voted out Gio because
you would.
There's a two. You would. Why do you think I would, Brice?
I don't know. Why you explained it to us?
Because I have allies, and there's a strong 2 on the other side.
But y'all got a strong 3.
I do agree with that. That's what I was thinking. Is if you cut out Lindsay, you know you have your 3.
True.
But what I would then say to counter that is that with all these no votes, idols, like a 3 against a 2 is not always a lock. So I think there's a case for both. I'm not saying necessarily, I don't know really what I think put it in stone is like the right move, but I do feel like I would lean towards voting out Gio. Like that's just someone who seems like he's more actively against me trying to make moves.
I mean,
so in other words, I'm right.
Well, I mean,
thanks, Jack.
Well, I mean, my opinion should not be taken as
canon.
As canon. What do I know?
It's just the gentleman's bet. Take off your clothes.
Jack, what's next?
Is that a Capri Sun?
It is.
Jack, why do you have a Capri Sun?
It's a delicious treat.
Remember when you used to try to open them and you'd stab all the way through by accident until you learned you gotta
squeeze. You got
apply
pressure.
No.
How do you have to open it, Wendell?
No, I don't.
No, I'm asking. No, I'm asking.
How do you open a Capri Sun?
My mom never bought Capri Suns. We always had hugs.
Okay.
So what do you have to do?
Jack is showing us.
You
just stab it.
You have to apply pressure.
Yes.
And poke the hole.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. Sound like a gentleman's bet.
Whoa.
Brice is like, who could get in the Capri Sun faster? Gentleman's bet. All right. So, I mean, yeah, that essentially wraps it up. We're at tribe. I mean, we have tribal council, of course. Lindsay's paranoia sort of continues.
It was written all over her face at tribal.
She was ready for the smoke.
Yeah. And so it ends up being 4-1, and Lindsay dug her own grave. Not much more to say. I don't know.
What do you guys think about the Cassidy Gio dynamic coming back to tribe? I mean, coming back to camp because he voted for her. Anything or nothing?
I mean, I think we'll see what happens, because again, like all of this could happen. they win 2 more challenges, they make the merge, and then they again vote together as a united front. So I feel like it all really depends on like how the tribe performs as a whole. Like this little beef could be nothing, or it could be something. But ultimately, and again, I think that Lindsay is a great player. I really do think that, like, again, it just got the game got the best of her. But I mean, hey, would you rather be blindsided or would you rather take yourself out? That's the gentleman's dilemma.
Gentleman's dilemma.
I got a
like
question.
it.
I got a question. And once we wrap tribal, I got a question.
Well, it's wrapped.
I'm wrapped.
Okay. I'm looking at the 3 tribes, and I wanted us to look at the 3 tribes and say if any of those tribes go, who we think we would be voted out.
Because there are only probably 2 tribals left until the merge.
Yeah. So Coco, we have Gio, James, Ryan, Cassidy, and Carla. Who's next to go on that tribe?
I go Gio.
I'm gonna go Gio. I'm just gonna go with the popular opinion.
Well, what would the unpopular opinion be?
Would Cassidy be an option?
Ryan?
Potentially Ryan. But I mean, maybe not, because again, like when I watched the episode, I saw that Ryan voted Lindsay. So I'm gonna go with Gio only because like he was the only one that voted Cassidy.
Okay. So on that tribe, we have Gio and Ryan, they're tight. We have James, Cassidy, and Carla, they're tight. Is there any way that Gio and Ryan sway a James to vote against a Cassidy? Because I don't. Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Potentially, and I also feel like in that dynamic, I don't think it's James, Carla, Cassidy are tight. I think it's James and Carla because we like just in who they are unloading on about Lindsay. Cassidy wasn't in on that.
James and Carla are definitely the duo on that tribe. And I really liked what we saw from James this episode. We haven't seen a lot of him this season, but I think in terms of like pre-tribal gameplay, he did some of the best work. Like I think he did a really good job of trying to calm Lindsay down and showed a lot of emotional intelligence there. And then when I think when he realized it wasn't working and Carlos said, "Hey, maybe we need to make a move," he clearly got on board with it.
Right.
So
he wasn't opposed to it.
Yeah.
And again, it brings me back to the first episode where the girls were like, we're picking James. James ain't picked them.
Wow.
So again, like I just feel like he's just being very flexible in the sense of like.
Yeah, I could see him going with Ryan and Gio, but I do think that he and Carla are a really solid duo right now, and I think he wouldn't do anything without Carla's consent, which I think is reasonable because that's your best ally, and I don't think Carla would want to vote Cassidy out right now.
So my also devil's advocate to that is that editing these last couple of seasons editing is almost now the other player, right? So I feel like, when we see Ryan say who his closest people are, he names James as well. So again, I'm just saying like James has put himself in a very like good position.
Yeah, James is in a great spot.
Okay. And him and Carla walked into that tribal and played that tribal like vets. Like I was watching them like, man, they're poised in what is their first tribal, which can be very nerve-wracking, or you don't necessarily know how to play that game. So kudos to them. Moving on to the Baca tribe, the yellow tribe, we have Gabler, Owen, Sammy, Ellie, and Janine. Who would be first to go?
I'm going Gabler.
Not Ellie.
I'm going Gabler.
Because Gabler has an idol still, too.
Would you like to change your choice, Brice?
No, I'm still going Gabler.
He has one more tribal to use it. You don't think he would just use it?
Listen, y'all didn't. So are y'all asking me who I think I'm going home, or y'all asking me my opinion on who I think is going home?
That's the same thing.
Hey, Brice, I got a question for you. Fine, new question to both of you. This yellow Baca tribe, if they go to tribal, who do you guys think is going home? Gabler, Owen, Sammy, Ellie, or Janine? Brice, who do you think?
So, I mean, clearly, because it's the last time you have to use the idol, like, you have to use it. Like, you would be like a fool not to use it.
Right. So if he pulls his idol, do we think that there are significant votes on Ellie, or might it go some other way?
I think Ellie.
Ellie?
I mean,
I mean, could be Janine, but I feel like
yeah.
Janine's been chilling.
she's been chilling.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pass.
Okay, and I think Ellie has a lot of game left in her, actually. So like we saw it, and then we saw her kind of get a little sloppy, but I think if she could get past the Gabler idol, then she could move and shake. And let's move on to Vesey. We have Cody, Justine. No.
Cody,
Dwight, Noelle, Jesse.
I'm gonna go Jesse.
I'm gonna say Noelle.
Yeah, I'm in between those two right now.
I just feel like, again, mind you, I love Jesse. I just am thinking as to the information that we know now. I feel like the biggest double agent in this point has been Jesse a little bit. So I feel like there is a world in which Cody could side with them to get out.
But aren't the two of them cool? Cody and Jesse?
But again, I'm just saying I could see it. Well, I mean, they are, but like,
I think I go Noelle.
I think in the list of allies, I think it's Jesse and Cody are pretty tight. I think Dwight has always been wary of Cody, but I almost look at Cody now as like a leader of the tribe.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. And again, this is not what I want to happen, but I also could foresee it being my twin Dwight, in the sense that this is not what I want to happen. I want Dwight to go as far as he can, but I'm just saying, like, I could see Cody saying Noelle, or I could see Jesse saying Noelle and Dwight putting up a huge like fit, and then them just being like, you know what, let's get Noelle and we'll vote Dwight.
Wow.
But I don't want that to happen.
No,
but
I know.
I could.
It's confusing
I could
because
see it.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Because Noelle, even if all three people go against her, she can use her steal a vote and make it a tie.
No, that's right. That's right.
Wow.
Because I did think Noelle at first, but she could. It doesn't matter if anyone's with her. She steals a vote.
Well,
but Cody has an idol.
But wait, he has a full idol, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's Cody.
He would use it, no?
But he wouldn't suspect it.
Maybe.
I forgot she has that steal a vote. Like, and again, like you said last episode.
So do you think Dwight and Noelle would vote Cody?
1,000%.
I think that's possible.
I can see that happening. Wow.
And here's the thing: Cody has shown himself as a leader. All the more reason to be like, yes, you're great, but also I don't want no elevator today. I only got one story in my house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I changed my vote. I'd say Cody, although I love Cody.
It could really be any of the four, which is.
I mean, well, I guess the game of Survivor.
Thanks, Brice.
Well, I mean, I'm saying like on Coco, it's not going to be Carla. Like, if they go to the next travel, it's not going to be Carla.
I mean, she could.
You know what I mean? Like or on Baca, I don't think it's going to be like Owen. You know what I mean? But on Vesey, it's like there's a legitimate chance it could be any of the four right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But
it's almost like 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%.
Oh my God! So is this where your shot in the dark would be the highest?
No, because
I think it's actually the worst time to use it.
It's still a 1 in 6 shot.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's right. Y'all explained that to me before, but okay. Sorry. Well, all right. Well,
should we get updated winner picks?
I mean, I feel like I've updated my winner pick.
Yeah.
You named 17 people.
I've updated my winner pick.
All right. I got a question, guys. When do we think the merge is going to be?
12.
Not this week, but the following week. And I do feel like there won't be a hourglass, but there will be something similar, because the way that they have changed the Beware idol to make it more user friendly, I definitely think that like there will be
something.
I
think it's confirmed that there's no hourglass.
Well,
so What?
I said that. What? I didn't just
Brice
say
was saying
that?
it was like, you know, if Brice was like, if I had to predict, I don't think it's gonna be back. I'm like, Brice.
Meanwhile, Probst is like, we're not bringing it back this year.
What I am saying though is that there will be something where they have to vote somebody off, and it's going to give them an advantage, but it won't be like a flipping the tables.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's all I'm saying.
Do we want something like that?
I mean, listen, you know how I feel about it.
You like it?
I'm not Danny McRae. I don't have no problem with it. But I mean, I understand why but he's a top-notch athlete, you know, the winner of the Challenge USA. You know, I'm just a third boot who the tables turn could have helped me. So again,
on the challenge.
How did you do?
How did you do on the challenge?
I did as well as Jack did on his first season of Survivor.
Damn. TBD. I could mess around and do worse.
I mean,
out there. That'll be embarrassing.
Don't do that.
I think
Jack.
I'd be off the Survivor News if I was
Don't do. I definitely know Jack will win his way back in a win back challenge. But anyway, listen, this has been your Survivor News. Y'all know we coming back. The homecoming next Wednesday. We're heading to Boston. We are heading to DC. We are heading to the finale. Make sure you click the link in my Instagram bio, Wendell's Instagram bio, or you can head over there to Instagram at Brice and Wynn Present, or we on Twitter now. Brice and Wynn on the Twitters. You can follow Jack on Twitter, but he ain't never there. You know, J Atkins 21. Also, this is another thing before we go, Jack. What is the 21 in your name? Where you just like I can't wait until I'm 20. Like, did you make it when you were like 16 and was like,
No. It's just been my favorite number since playing basketball growing up. My first number, my mom played basketball in college and she was number 22.
Christine. Was she a forward?
She was a hooper?
She was like a shooting guard, I think. Like that. I don't know. But she was number 22. And so when I first picked out my first jersey, number 22 was gone. So I picked number 21. And it's been my favorite number ever since. Plus, I'm also just love drinking beer. No, I'm kidding.
So this is like your golden year, essentially. Like you're 21 and then
Yikes. Speaking of which, I think my birthday is wrong in the Zaddy calendar.
No, it's right. You just have two of them.
Oh, I do?
You got two birthdays?
For real?
Mm-hmm.
What is this, leap year?
Guys,
I got new lighting.
Okay, well, listen, we about to end it, but we've had a great episode. Wendell is excited for Christmas.
I wanted to create mood lighting in the studio.
Show us the studio.
It's right here.
You guys got better setups than I got.
No, Jack.
Once I get a place of my own, you better believe.
Jack, you really don't though.
Jack, I'll show you it when you come next week.
I can't wait for you to see.
I got a week to clean up.
But anyway, this has been your Survivor News. We appreciate you. Your baby boys will be back next week. We're out of here. Okay, don't get too paranoid with the paranoia. We out, and listen, it's a gentleman's bet.
Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. ...